Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I just saw I had a huge backlog of comments here, but I had a phone call come in. Otherwise, I would have started like an hour ago. But I just went ahead and started before I even did the thumbnail. But it's okay. The thumbnail is pretty much the same every video. So anyway, we had Mr. Varden show up here first and said, "Let's go." Yeah, let's go. Um, and then William showed up and said, "Hey, I don't know if you watch other income investors, but check out the channel Passive Income Investing." Yeah, actually, I get a lot of viewers from him. He's a big channel. He's got like six-figure subscriber range. But yeah, I have definitely seen him because I on my analytics it shows a lot of other channels that my audience watches, and he's one. So what else did you say? He has a lot of info on high dividend stocks, and he does interviews with the funds. Hey, that's what I'm aiming to do too. Not emulating, just it seems like it would be very helpful for the channel. Passive income investing. So let me get caught up on comments here first, and then I'll go into the dividend. Oh no, he doesn't have 100,000, but he's at like 61,000. Interesting. And I think he has an accent or something. I forget where he's from. But anyway, oh, I'm only down to one. What did I run two of you off? Well, I have a good backlog of comments here. But anyway, yeah. So working on that. And you said you already do. You said he's okay. I look at what he buys and buy it 4 months later. That's after it gets hammered, right? What other channels do you watch? Hopefully, mainly mine, but then only others if I'm not on. Wish he wasn't this late all the time. I know. I'm working on my promptness. Oh, I got three viewers back. Hey, it's okay though. Well, like I said, I had a phone call come in that I didn't expect, and I was on for like 40 minutes. So my apologies. But the weather's really nice out here today too. So anyway, new money, dividend bull, Mr. Money Mind, dividend bull. Yeah, one of them I reached out to, and they never even acknowledged me. So I wanted to do like a collab with them. Dividend bull is great, not as great as me though. Yeah, let's be honest, right? Are you investing in TSLY too? Oh, good. So y'all had a good conversation before I joined, but I'm gonna put all your comments up because that's what I do. Yes, I have 90,000, 6,000, or yeah, 90,000, 6,110 shares at 14.73. That's about the same price I bought in per share. My goal is to get 10,000 shares flat for APLY and Berkshire Fund each. I'm going to reinvest all the dividends and any free money each month. Yeah, don't we love free money, right? I want to get into all of them too, but I got to build some more money up at this point. I put pretty much everything I had saved into Tesla or TSLY. You said, I know it's bad putting all your money in one fund company, but there isn't any other funds that beat Yield Max. I just hope they aren't a bad company that decays too much or they fail somehow. Yeah, I think we're all kind of thinking that at the moment. 1958 shares I have at 1371. Wow, look at you. You got in cheaper than all of us. I'm hoping to reinvest to 40K and then spend all the dividends to SCHD. I don't know why you'd want to do SCHD because there's so many other higher paying dividends. I know total return is higher for SCHD. William said that's a good plan too. SCHD, very safe stock, and you got in a good price. I was down 12,000. My heart hurt because not even 1 week passed I bought before earnings. I could have bought more than 1K extra shares. Tell me about it. I had the same thing happen. This time with APLY, if I have some money to invest, I'll wait until earnings come out because Apple's been dropping too. How much money did you make from it? Well, if he's down, it looks like he'd lost money. If the dividend will be the same at 83 cents, it'll be 5,071. Hey, that's nice. That's like a monthly income. But I'm down 6,000, so I don't see it as profit yet. That's true until you'd still be down 1,000, right? But it is pretty close to break even. Yeah, I'm not worried. I was when I was 12,000 down because that means I will have to wait 2 months before I make dollars to buy Apple APLY. Just be careful. Market can turn on a dime. That's true. SVOL still kicking butt. Yeah, SVOL just paid their dividend Friday, I think, or before then. Yeah, market is scary, but no risk, no reward. I believe in Tesla. They're a strong company. Electric cars are here to stay forever. Yeah, just got to perfect it, right? Will be interesting how the next 2 years shape up. Yeah, won't it? SVOL is good, but I bet APLY will pay more in dividend, and it's cheaper at the moment. Also, Apple's a strong company. They may not, because of the volatility. I know we keep having that debate. Again, read that guy's article on TSLY because that pretty much settles it. But I don't know, APLY might not be as high. Let's see. They get a lot of government money too. If that goes away, I don't know what will happen. Who does? Apple? I doubt APLY would pay more than SVOL. We will see pretty soon. You could weekly trade SVOL too. So for those of you joining, I had 8 of you. I'm down to 5. It's fluctuating, but I'm just catching up on comments here because I had a huge backlog of them. Because I was late, you know. Oh well. At least I'm not at 10 o'clock tonight. I think market will recover mid next year, closer to the election. Hey, that's what I've been saying too. Because they're going to make everything look good. They'll have inflation dropping. They'll have the market recovering. And they'll say, hey, we're the inflation reduction experts, even though inflation doubled on their watch. You know, a lot of people only pay attention around the election anyway. So that seems to only be, things only seem to matter then. But anyway, I do agree with that. The Fed will take their time before they lower rates. People think by the end of this year they will. I don't think so. I was hoping it would happen sooner rather than later. I don't do options. I tried once, lost 1,200. My brain doesn't understand it. Well, you can't give up there. I've probably lost more than that, but I've also gained too. So you just got to keep at it. I mean, there's things my brain doesn't understand either, but you got to keep at it. SVOL, you buy the stock, then sell it when it's up 4% or so. You just need more money, but you could make like 400 a week by doing that, depending on the number of shares you have. I will try that when I save more dollars. Nice. Do you know how tax works for dividends? Like if I make 40,000 in my job, do they add that with my dividend income? Then that's how they check in what tax percentage rate they will charge. Yeah, it sucks with dividends because it kind of like tacks on to your income. So you're going to be paying your marginal rate if they're qualified. Now, if they're like non-qualified, if they're like in an IRA or something, like a Roth, you're not going to pay the tax on it. But yeah, it sucks. It really does. And I've been busted on that a couple of times. Paul Varden says, could be capital gains tax. No, they're taxed like as ordinary income. I'm Canadian, so I don't know what it is in the States. I figured Canada would tax similarly. I figured actually Canada would be higher tax, but I'm not sure. I know there was an American company that moved to Canada for tax reasons. It might have been Walgreens. Like they actually headquartered themselves there for some reason. Okay, I thought you were in the States. Oh, you should know better. He's on here all the time, and he says he's Canadian all the time, so you should know that by now. Come on. And then look who commented on here. Yeah, so I am on now. Dividends normally lower than normal income. Almost caught up here. Sometimes if you hold a stock for more time, they won't charge you as much too. Yeah, but with dividends, it doesn't matter because, and I disagree with the way dividends are taxed. Like I think it's stupid because as soon as you get it, even if you reinvest the dividend, you have to come up with the money somewhere else to pay the tax, which sucks because you may not even touch that money. You're just reinvesting it, which you would think if you reinvest it, you should be able to only have to pay tax when you touch the money. But no, if you're reinvesting all your dividends, you got to come up with that money from somewhere else to pay the tax on it. It really sucks, but it is what it is. It's confusing for me. First time I will make money with dividends in my life. So I don't know. Well, hey, good for you. Just, you know what? Keep following this channel. Stick to it. I'm going to do more options videos too. So you'll learn, sooner rather than later, but you will learn. Denny Keaton says, good evening. You said welcome. Motown investor showed up and, oh, you're new. Well, welcome. Always welcome new people here. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. So thank you all. So, all right. We're caught up on comments now. So now what was I actually going to talk about? Did I forget? Let me just read my title here. Next TSLY dividend anticipated. Will it be 50 to 70%? Well, for all the backlog and comments that I had, I was hoping you all would have come up with something as to when the dividend is going to be. Because I'm thinking it may be May 5th ex-dividend date, or May 5th that the dividend's declared, and then it may be like May 15th ex-dividend. But is it going to stay at 50 to 70%? What will the date of payment be, etc.? That's what the video was going to talk about. So anyway, that's, like I said, I was gonna do my thumbnail, but I don't think I can share my screen. We're gonna have a little arts and crafts session. But anyway, let me just go to Yahoo Finance here and pull up some stuff because I was hoping you all had some ideas. I mean, that's my best guess based on what I've read. I think that the dividend will be declared by Cinco de Mayo, so good cause for celebration, May 5th. And then it will probably be paid out by like the 15th. By the way, finally hit the watch hours just in time for my 1-year anniversary of the monetization. That was May 4th. So I was right on the button, but I had a couple of days, but I just finally hit it. So very happy with that. So thank you all for your help on that. Really, April, the channel crushed it in April. I'm up to almost like 10,000 views, which if I start averaging 10,000 views or more a month, the ad revenue will start to get better. So really appreciate you all. The channel's starting to snowball a little bit, like a dividend snowball, right? Do you think the dividend will remain that high, or are they forced to cut it? I'm hoping it'll at least stay like 50%. That's what I'm hoping. If it can be in the 50 to 70% range, but we will see. We need compensation for what we lost in the earnings, right? So when will APLY pay a dividend? I watched a video and another channel. They said at the end of June because the fund needs a full month because APLY came out in the middle of this month. They're probably right. I would think they're probably right. So if I look at OARK as an example, we'll look at that one. Let me go to Yahoo Finance here. And by the way, speaking of snowballing, we're up to 10 live viewers, which is good. Hopefully we can set a record again. Okay, let me see where my Yahoo Finance is here. We'll go to that one over here. Yahoo Finance, let's see. Oh, we can talk about Zim today too. Okay, first, let me answer his question. OARK. I know it's rare you ask the last question and get it answered first, but it is what it is right now. So let me just do that. So historical data. Oh, wait a second. Let me look at when the fund actually started, because I'll make my best guess just taking OARK as an example. So we're 1478 in the after hours, and we're up to 1478 as of close of market Friday, and we're at 1546 in the after hours. So the fund went public November 25th. It's dropped a lot since then, but so has Miss Kathy Wood's fund too. So, all right, November 25th, keep that in mind. And let's see when the first dividend was here. And then I got an Amex ad. That's funny. I would recommend don't touch Amex. They're a little bit unethical with their rewards programs. Okay, so you can expect it probably a month after it went public. So because it went public November 25th, there wasn't a December 25th. So January was the first dividend that we got for OARK. And TSLY, we'll look that one up since we're discussing this one anyway. Now it's funny because what's starting to happen here, I've gone from a comprehensive financial coaching channel to dividends. Now I'm on to high yield dividend ETFs. Now I guess I'm a TSLY channel, at least the last couple weeks, because it's like now I'm just on to like one fund. So interesting. Oh, look, Larry Summers showed up, and I'm sure that's the real person too, Mr. Larry Summers, who was Treasury Secretary, and he was like an economic advisor. Cool name. I bought shares of TSLY between 1270 and 1310. I'm not worried about it. Well, good for you. You know, some of us just really have perfect timing. I knew I was going to get this. Hey, I did say in the video description that taunts were welcome just for this video. So yeah, I think you know the answer to that question, but I will tell you they should have gotten a penalty there before the end of regulation. But oh well, you know what? Toronto got their 19-year streak snapped. So good for you all. Just regret that it had to happen against the Lightning. So yeah, nice. Yeah, some people have perfect timing. So let's see here. Okay, I addressed that one. Ooh, 14 live viewers. See, there is a silver lining at the end of the Lightning losing. Anyway, okay, so TSLY. Let's see here. Let's see. You know what's going to really be exciting when this gets to like, if this can get to like 100 live viewers one day, that'll come one day, you know? Oh, one of you just left. Why? We're having fun. We're just getting started. All right, TSLY. So, excuse me, been holding that one in for a while. Okay, so TSLY was 1337 Friday. We're up to 1350 in the after hours. We'll see how we do tomorrow. And what I want to look at, the same example, I want to see, okay, so it was November 23rd. So this one actually went public 2 days before OARK. So that was November 23rd. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the dividend was also mid-January in this case. So all of these are relatively new. This is a very, I would call this a fluid situation with all these funds because we're literally like not even 5 months in to this. So things are developing as we speak. Now, let's see here. I have my window open because it kind of cooled off out here, but got some noise out here. All right, let's see. Dividends. Yeah, okay, so January 10th, February 8th, March 8th, April 6th. So I'm thinking possibly May 5th could be the first, the earliest, possibly. Let's see here. So January 10th was a Tuesday, February 8th was a Wednesday, March 8th was also a Wednesday. You notice when February is not a leap year, the February and March calendars kind of are almost the same. So February 8th, yeah, a day after someone's birthday, very special day, by the way. And then March 8th was also a Wednesday. April 6th was the first week of the month. So it could be, it might be May 10th. It might actually be May 10th that we get it. And then it would be paid out like a week later, I think. But those of us that are in now should definitely get it. So to answer your question, whoever you were, I forgot the dividend, or I forgot the, wow, 17 live viewers. I think it was William. You asked me, oh shoot, what do I have on me here? Got something on me. I was out walking around. That's why I was late. Okay. So what did you say here? When will APLY pay dividend? So I'm thinking it could be 18. Wow. Let's look at APLY. So APLY just went public. So it might not be till like June 10th or something. Let me do this here. Let's go to APLY. APLY. Let's see now. It's coming up. It's coming up. I mean, it's we definitely wouldn't be getting in at the cheapest price here. Let's see here. April 17th went public. So if we follow the same logic, it could be like June 10th. We may not get one in May. So I would look at around like June 10th or mid-June at the latest for dividend. Let's see here. Larry Summers. I own some dividends paying 9 to 14% right now. So TSLY is a fine addition to my collection. Well, I would hope so, because you being a former Treasury Secretary, Mr. Larry Summers, assuming you're the real person, which I know you're not, I'm just making a joke, but you should have, if you were, you should have great timing. What other funds? 70-cent dividend for what? For TSLY? I know, huge hockey night too. Oh, you finally joined. You know what? You've been a subscriber for over a year, and you've this for the first time you joined a live stream. So welcome. I'm assuming by your name you're a Boston fan. Now this is what I find funny. I knew you guys were going to pull me into hockey eventually. I'm trying to forget about it because now I officially am done with the hockey season because my team's out of it. But I will say this: so Boston had the best record in the NHL this year. Like they actually, not only this year, but I think they actually set a record. So, but what's weird, you get into the playoffs and then you struggle against the Panthers. And I think you're in game 7. And I'm going to be really stunned if the Panthers beat you guys because you had the best record in the NHL. Now, one thing that happened to the Lightning, actually, and I'm surprised Mr. Varden hasn't pointed this out because he likes to tease me about the Lightning. I think back in 2019, the Lightning had the best record in the NHL. And they got swept in the first round of the playoffs. So sometimes that happens, but I wouldn't expect that from Boston. But yeah, game 7. Anyway, long story short, welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you on. Oh, let me see now. William says, I don't think I want to invest in NVIDIA. Their stock chart is all over the place, up, down, side ways. What do you think it's worth getting when it comes out? Here's the funny thing. So NVIDIA is actually one of my favorite companies, and they're great for options trading. And you were saying you don't quite understand options, but we'll get you there. Don't worry. We will get you there. So I started talking about hockey and I lost some of you, but I'm back into financial stuff now and I'm losing more of you. What the heck? We were up to 20. So anyway, all right, William. Yeah, just keep your confidence about options. Yeah, hang in there. Come on, people. All right. yeah, keep your faith about options. You'll get there. It's taken me a while too. But anyway, Sawston Red Sox says bought in Fort Myers 2 years ago. So then, are you still like a Boston fan, or you haven't converted to the Florida teams yet? Fort Myers is very close to Tampa, so I would hope you would root for the Lightning over the Panthers. Paradise every day, except for that hurricane in September that hit in Fort Myers. William, Yield Max would work great for Yield Max funds. What does that mean? Yield Max would work great for yield. Is that like a play on words or a joke? I mean, it should. Any news on the Berkshire ETF rumors from the same fund? I bought lots of puts Thursday and Friday. On what? Like the S&P or the market as a whole? Hang on, I'll be right back. Getting thirsty again. Okay, where are we? Oh, you're right. I do agree. I think NVIDIA actually will be great for Yield Max because it's such a volatile one. Let me pull up NVIDIA while I'm at it. Ooh, got a new fan. Michael Lorca. Did I say that right? I try to get the names right the first time. Have you looked into Clip ETF? You know, a lot of you keep asking me about it. It's a Chinese fund. I did look into it, but it's not the first one that jumps out at me when I think of these types of funds. Anyway, let me look into Yield Max here. Where's my Yahoo screen? Let's see now. It's funny. So I get so many free hours from StreamYard, but it's telling me I'm about to exceed that, or I'm about to go over it because I've done so many videos. But I think I still have enough. I mean, well, we only have 1 day left in the month, so I have like 10 hours. I'm only going to go one, so I should be good. But I just find that funny. That's how much more videos I'm churning out. Anyway, NVDY, not public yet, so no ticker. All right, how are we doing here? So Nvidia was up, so you should have bought call options Friday. That's an easy one. Nvidia, I sold out and this is really gonna hurt me. I sold out too soon. I had call options that I had bought last year because I actually gave a class presentation on Nvidia last year, and I was very, very bullish on it. I think I gave that one mid-July, and look, it's up $100 since then. So see, I should have kept them. Look at that. I sold them in February because earnings came out and they went from here to here. But God, I would have made a fortune if I had kept them. So darn. See, you want to trade options in Nvidia because I don't really see it that volatile right now. If you look at it long term, all the way from November, it's almost doubled. In fact, from 148, it's very close to doubling in value. Not from since the beginning of the year, actually. It's almost doubled in value. And it pays a dividend too, but not a very good one. So, all right, how are we doing here? 23 minutes in. Got a lot of you on here for a Sunday. Glad I'm so popular. Okay, NVIDIA better than TSLY in yield percentage. We will see. Maybe. They should be. We will see. But yeah, NVIDIA, I don't know if they'll be better than TSLY, but I think they'll certainly be better than Apple or APLY. I think I will buy some Zim. The price is pretty close to 52-week low. What do you think? Yeah, I'm going to look into Zim. You tempted me finally. I said I would, but since you mentioned it now, you triggered my memory again. Your APLY yield max idea is great, but like SVOL, a little better. Yeah, it might be. It might be. It just might. All right, Zim. We've got a Zim request in the house. So let's look at Zim. How long do you guys want to go today? I got a lot of you on. You want to go a full hour? Let's see. All right, we looked at NVIDIA. So Zim. Because I'm at the point now, I kind of just let the audience guide the discussion. Really makes it easy for me. I don't have to be too creative. I just do what you guys want, and then get views. It's great. If I could just add a few zeros at the end of what I make monthly, I could do this full time. It'd be great. So, Zim. Yeah, Zim is really dropping. How about that? it's still paying close to 100% dividend yield. See this one? And I'm not making that up. You can see it's like 16.95, 99% dividend yield. Since April 25th of last year, it's lost like probably 70% of its value, or 80%. It's down. Yeah, it's definitely down to a 52-week low. I would probably scoop up some Zim because you know what? Actually, that's a really good idea because if you think about it, Zim at this point is cheaper than a lot of our ETFs that we like to talk about. What's the most option stock? Good question. I want to say Apple, but it might not be. I think Tesla is really risky. But good question. I'll Google that. Let's see. I'm going in reverse order here. January 2024's. I make close to 6 figures a year with Zim Dividend. Well, you either have a ton of money or you're just making that up. Hopefully it's the first, or the former versus the latter. Puts on Apple and call on SOX, BITI, SQQ, and UCO. Okay. How'd that do for you? All right, 22 viewers. We're tying a record here. Full hour. All right. Since you said so, and since we tied a record, all right, full hour it is. Yeah, and I addressed that one. Well, tell us, what were your actual specific trades on that? Like you put puts on Apple, puts, listen to me. You did puts on Apple and calls on these 4. Now, which ones are these? Let me see here. You know what I'm going to do one day? I'm going to create like a paper trade account with $1 million, and I'm going to just use that, and I'm going to say, look at my $1 million account, because there's so many people on here that come across like they're ballers, you know, like, oh, so much money, but you know, fake it till you make it, I guess. I've shown pieces of real accounts, but not like the whole thing. Let me look up some of these you mentioned here. So let's see, UCO, what's that one? UCO. Now, what news? Oh, that's crude oil. Crude oil. So you did calls on crude oil. Yeah, you know, I'd like somebody to explain to me. Crude oil, well, okay, since March 17th, it's up, wow, 40. Oh, this one is up 43%, this UCO. Good call, no pun intended. UCO, I need to follow that one. SQQQ, that's the Ultra Pro Short QQQ. Good call. You know, I want to just monitor this like all day, every day, but that seems like, let me ask you, for your options trading, do you work? Are you retired? Oh, look at this. We broke a record. 23 live viewers. That's awesome. On a Sunday. Now, I want you to tell me, Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary, when you do your options trades, are you retired? Or like, do you monitor this all day? Or do you plan, like, do you buy them like the night before or the trading day before? Like, what's your strategy? How do you do it? Because for me, I feel like I would have to look, I'd have to be following all day. And there's been some risky trades I've gotten in where it's like I leave somewhere and I'm like, I need to either have good connection on my phone or something, or I need to be watching this to get out of this as soon as possible. Because if you're short something and it could move against you really fast, you can blow up your account quick. So BT, oh, that's Bitcoin Strategy ETF. And then I don't know about these crypto ones. SOX is a, semiconductor. Now that's funny because I'm following the Direction Daily Semiconductor Bull 3X, but I'm not actually following this SOX one. So that's funny. Oh, got some new people on here with some cool names. Now I'm assuming, for some reason, on here, this SOX fund has like a, what do you call that? What do you call the thing like this? Not a chevron, but it's like a, not an apostrophe, an asterisk. The thing that goes, a hyphen. I'm drawing a blank. I'm a financial person, not an English person. But it's got like this thing in front of it here, you see, and it's like $3,000. But it's called PHLX Semiconductor, and the other one is SOXL, which is a Direction Daily Semiconductor Bull 3X shares. And it looks like they perform about the same, but I'm assuming the other one, if it performs like the UPRO, then it's like a 3X of the underlying index. That's what I'm assuming. Okay, let's see. Oh, I still got to Google this. Getting a lot of you on here today. Wow. I'm holding them. The expiry is January 2024. Oh, you're holding all of these, I guess? Only urgency in the next 2 days is whether we think Tesla will stabilize so we can dollar cost average TSLY this week. Why? Because you think the dividend is coming this week? I'm very happy to get early in the month SSS. Does that mean dollar? Did you forget like the dollar sign key and just put S's? Or what is that? TSLY dividend $40. Oh, 40 cents. Where are you seeing that from? Can we have a source, please? I like the name, by the way. Eat more beans, because the more beans you eat, the more you fill in the blank. There you go. You got the dollar signs. I knew you'd find the dollar sign key. Good job. I'm just teasing you though. Oh, look here. Even Neil showed up, and we weren't past your bedtime today. How about that? You finally caught me live. Thoughts on SEA? Haven't heard of it yet. I'm just now seeing the ticker now that you typed it there. I'll get to that in a second. Do a spreadsheet on 100K investment in TSLY since inception. Show us where we are, taking dividends and reinvesting dividends. I actually did that. I'll pull that up in just a second here. But I want Eat More Beans to stop eating beans for a second and tell me where he got this source of TSLY dividend 40 cents. So if you could put the beans down for a second and give us like an article or a source or something, that would make me feel better, or make all of us feel better, right? Okay, now let's see here. They're really rolling in here. Haha, right? Yeah, load me up, load me up. Oh, good, look at that. You're watching me while you're walking your dog. How about that? Just remember to pick up after him. Some people don't. Just kidding a bit. I'm a political junkie. Well, of course you are with a name like that. That specialize in Roman history, Islamic, Napoleonic era, and World War One modern era. Well, you skipped. Oh, World War One to modern era. Okay, because I was going to say you skipped World War Two. I had a few successful small business turned into trading. Now I trade and work for Tesla. Okay, interesting. So okay, you work for Tesla, and you trade options. Okay, so that's good. So Elon doesn't keep you too busy to where you don't have enough time to look into your options trades, or maybe you just time them right. Because from what I had heard, our boy Elon, he didn't want people working from home anymore. He was even saying you just need to like, either we'll fire you or leave, or we'll get rid of you if you don't want to come into the office. That's what I thought he was saying. Neil has been following TSLY too. Actually bought near its low the other day. Good for you. Good timing for you. TSLY is a volatility harvest. Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, I actually bought more. Most I bought near 15 level. Well, yeah, I did the same thing, but unfortunately, no more money right now to buy more. Got to pay off some credit cards before I accrue interest. Because I don't like to pay interest. I like to collect interest, and that's how you all should be too. Collect it, don't pay it. And you all have heard my joke about credit card interest. Like when people ask me, what's your interest on your credit cards? I say, well, I try to get 5%, but I'd like it to be higher. And they're like, what? You'd like your interest rate to be higher? Why? And I'm like, well, what's your rate? And they say, oh, like 18 to 30%. I'm like, whoa, how do I get that? Sign me up right now. And they're like, well, why do you want to pay a higher interest rate? Because, and then we realize we're talking about two different things. Like I'm getting cash back, they're paying interest. So it's not quite an apples to apples discussion. But hey, if a credit card, and that's something about credit cards, they have this spread. So they're charging like 32% to people that can't pay, or, that have a harder time paying. But they only pay in these rewards, like if you're lucky, maybe 5%. So what's this huge spread? A credit card needs to pay like a 20% cash back. I'm waiting for that. Now you can look at it like when they pay that bonus, if you do the 1,000 up front and you get like $200 back, that's like a 20% rate of return. And then you're getting another 1 to 3% on top of that. So I guess you could come close in that sense, but they only let you open so many of them per year. It's like in sports, you're trying to get ahead, you're trying to score a touchdown, but then it's like, are you trying to score a field goal? And they move the goalposts around, like what they do to the Lightning, those refs. Speaking of that, by the way, I saw the craziest thing this year in one game. the other team literally knocked the goalie out of the net, scored a goal, and somehow it counted. And no one was ever able to explain that to me, but I know I saw it. I know what I saw. So it makes me wonder sometimes. Okay, let's see now. Okay, so I addressed that one. Larry Summers said, all my time is spent working, trading, and listening to reports. Wow, what a life. You got to have some fun. But hey, money, the more you make, the more fun you can have down the road. Just don't forget to have fun eventually, because I've been guilty of that myself. Eat More Beans says, the volatility is 46% and the calls are about 5% out of the money just using math. Oh, good. Well, that's a good educated guess. So no source needed for an educated guess because the source is up here, right? I like that. That's good thinking. Neil feel the same way and will go big in the morning. Well, like they say, go big or go home, right? So, did you ever tell us what team you're a fan of? I think you're a Boston fan, assuming from your name. But you'll have to tell us when you're going to decide to convert to the Florida teams. Eat More Beans says it's a guess from me. Good for you. Like I said, I like it. 40 cent, I would cry, too low. Hey, 40 cent, let's do that math real quick. Let's see now. Got lots of good comments today. I really enjoy this when this is like this. So 40 times 12, that's 480 divided by, what are we at, 1350? That's still 35%. That's still, you can pay your 32% APR on your credit cards with that. That's still not terrible, Nice. Robert Smith says, paid my Tesla off with Discovery 0% check. Discovery 0% check. Wow, we're at 26 live viewers. We're going for 30. Go for 30. All right. So how does that work? Is that a card I've never heard of? Because if I've never heard of something, that means it's not any good. That's the logic I use because I've been told that before, and I go by what I'm told. That's a long running joke for those of you wondering. Discovery 0%. Oh, you mean like your cash back? I had a Discover card, but I discovered, ironically, that it wasn't very good because they cut out the restaurant category. I was getting like 5% cash back at restaurants. I got like $50 one quarter. 27. All right, keep going, keep going. So you'll have to tell me what card that is. See, and I can't really do a credit card video because it won't get the viewership that this does. But what I can do, and I may just do this from now on, I start out with the dividends and then I go into other stuff, like credit cards, options. So that's kind of the goal. Okay, Neil says, I bought SVOL last week in time for the dividend. Good for you. SVO has been doing great. I agree. Listening to reports is fun to me. LOL. I love it. You know what they should have? They should open a bar. This is an idea I just came up with. This is how the creative ideas flow. They should have a bar where like us financial people can just nerd out and show up, and they have like CNBC on. They have like Fox Business, and we just go have drinks and stuff and just talk investing instead of like the sports and all that. That would be fun. They could have girls walking around taking orders and stuff, and we're there trading and talking finance. It could be like the stock exchange bar. That would be cool. All right, so that's that. What will you estimate the first dividend payment for APLY to be? Let me see. I'm just going to come up with it. So I would say probably like 25 cents, maybe 30 cents, because I think it's going to function differently, but it'll still be pretty good, I think. So, and then this one's funny. The biggest Florida sport is pickleball. Funny thing, I had a friend that actually asked me about playing that, and I don't know how new the sport is, but I know it's growing fast. It's like ping pong and tennis, kind of. It's like a combination of that, but it is growing fast. If we start getting professional pickleball teams, then we'll know the sport has really arrived. But when did that sport start? I mean, did it start in Florida? I mean, I don't know, because I've only really just heard of it like within the last year. Discover card has 0% transfer. Now, what I've done before, I've done like zero fee, 0% balance transfer, which worked really well. I actually paid for a vacation that way one time. And I paid no interest. I ran up like 3,000 on credit cards, and I moved them around. I did a free balance transfer, so that was cool. What's this? Scared money don't make money. I like that. I agree with that. Who's your picture, by the way? Is that you in the picture? That's a nice picture, Motown. I assume you're from Detroit. 28. We're going up. going up. Hoffman Unfiltered IV 5% on what? Do any of you guys have an online savings account? Oh, those are junk. Only keep like a couple thousand and invest everything else. I just opened a Citibank, right? Which pays 4.75%. Check it out if you're getting less. That's actually not a bad idea for a little bit of money. I wouldn't recommend parking too much. Well, I don't make recommendations on this channel, but I wouldn't park too much in savings. But the thing is, the way this market's been since 2022, we're not really getting consistent returns on our investments. So it's tough. It's really tough, because it makes you want to park more money in savings. But even at 5%, you're still not really beating inflation. That's the challenge. So let's see here. Look at you. You're like my wingman with the fans here. Like you're keeping them coming. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep it up. All right. Sounds like my office. What's that? Oh, you mean the financial bar? That might have been, oh, APLY, 22% annualized. You think so? 22. So let's backfill on that. So okay, if it's at, what's it at right now? Oh, I'm still on Zim. See, I get caught up in your comments here, all your comments, and then I ignore the screen that I'm on. So APLY, and I know I've got some other stuff to look at that you all have mentioned. I should do one on Zim where I just do like and I might have, I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, APLY. So if you're saying 22% annualized, let's see. That's 2046 times 0.22. So that'd be 450 a year. So that'd be 38 cents. Yeah, you're probably about right. That's about right. Because what did I say? 35 cents or so. So you're probably about right on that one. Uh-oh. Banks wait on U.S. government to decide fate of First Republic. More banking trouble. And the futures are down tomorrow. What's this? Um, Not Citibank. Then what bank is it? Citbank? I mean, that's the only, when you spelled it that way, that's the only bank I can think of. Cash is king right now. But here's the thing: see, when inflation's like 8 or 9%, which I think it's still understated, and your savings account's only getting 4 to 5%, it's the same thing with CDs. You're still losing money. That's the problem. Larry Summers wants an A+ trade if you can hold till September, November. Yeah, don't we all? I think we all want the same thing. All of us on this channel. Isn't that funny? We all want the same thing. We're like-minded people. Having said that, most of my money is in stocks. I figured that. I mean, I figured, you wouldn't be saying cash is king and be following these kinds of channels. And that makes sense. Good for you, because I kind of like these cash people. I just don't, I think of people that like putting money under the mattress and it loses value over time. And then next thing you know, you thought, like, say someone retired like in the 80s and they hoarded all their money in cash. Now they're poor again, almost have to go back to work, but now they're old. I really feel for someone like that. GS. What's GS? Goldman Sachs? What do you want to look up about Goldman Sachs? Okay, well, we were up to 28. We're going for 30 here. 30 for 30, right? Yeah, GS is Goldman Sachs, or the Goldman Sachs company, shall we say. It's funny. I actually, when I got my undergrad, Goldman Sachs was hiring in New York, but they only wanted to pay like a Florida salary in New York. And I was just like, there's no way. But I guess the prestige of working for Goldman Sachs, it's like if you work there for a year or two, they burn you out or you get cut. It's like getting cut from the Yankees. You go anywhere. Oh, right. Somehow we hit 30. I don't know how, but somehow we keep hitting these numbers. So I'm aiming for 50 now. Let's see if we hit 50. 30 is a record for sure. So, okay. Citbank, a division of First Citizens. Well, I don't know about that one, so I think I'll have to sit that one out, pun intended. APLY is a great new ETF. SVOL, a little better. Love the stability of both versus TSLY. 31 live viewers. Awesome. Eat more beans. In between eating beans is commenting here and says SVOL changed to mid-months on the term structure. Net values to drop if VIX continues to drop. Yeah, you're actually analyzing it, so that's good. Net value should drop if the VIX continues to drop. Well, the value for the fund. So then that would mean that we get in cheaper, right? Most savings accounts at brick and mortar banks are way below 4.75%. I know they're screwing us. It's like they get this huge spread. And it's just like mortgages. So mortgage rates go up, but the rates on CDs and money markets and all that are very slow to come up. But I don't give a crap about CDs anyway. But that's what banks do, you know? Anyway, well, let's see here. Will APLY price go up or down in the next coming months? Well, I would hope it would go up. I think Apple's going to go up. So my hunch, I think APLY would go up. Come back to this video in 6 months and see, you know, we'll see what it does and we'll come back to this video. If I can remember it, I'm churning a lot of them out. So, you know, it'll be like finding a needle in a haystack. That's the goal, by the way. You know, the more volume the videos you have out, if you say something stupid, it's like hiding something in plain sight. The more videos you get out, if you say something stupid in one video, if you have like 300 videos, it's harder to find the one stupid statement. But there are some people that will stalk it and look and say, oh, he said this on this date. And a lot of times I probably wouldn't even remember it. But anyway, we just try to avoid that altogether by not saying anything stupid, right? So where are we? Uh, if or it will drop every dividend date unless stock skyrockets. That's the thing. That's the thing with covered call ETFs, right? The tricky part is that, and we saw that with QYLD. Like if they're paying out too much, it's like the dividends cannibalize the fund in a way. So if they're paying too much in a dividend payout or a covered call premium, then the stock really has to go up for the fund to exceed it. That's the tricky part. But I think at this point in this market, I would rather have the dividends. And let's see. Term structure from July to October is only 12% or so. I'm not sure what you mean by that. My main dividends revolve around energy, natural gas, and hydrogen. Well, good for you. Cool. Apple reports earnings on Thursday. Yeah, so I'm going to avoid getting into APLY before then. So watch the earnings, but analysts say it may be flat. But what the heck do the analysts know? You know, analysts, they get their CFA. They make like $500,000 a year in big cities. And it's like they know as much as we do, but they just have more education, I guess. But somehow, you know, we can make better calls than they can, it seems like. But I will avoid that one for sure until we'll see what earnings does. But the way it works typically, if I avoid it, thinking it's going to go down, then it opens, the earnings come out, then it goes way up, and then I say, oh, I should have bought that. That's kind of like how it seems to work. It's like the reverse psychology or opposite. Makes sense somehow. Check out RA, monthly dividend payout, almost 14%. I've held it for years. Yeah, I've talked about RA before. Hoffman Unfiltered. So how do you actually make money on credit card strategy? Oh, man. Oh, you're in for it. Now, you've got to go watch. I hope you recently subscribed to this channel, or if not, definitely subscribe. You've got to watch like one of my most popular videos. It's a 30-minute video. It's the thumbnail, like me at the beach and stuff. And it's got different credit cards. I've done several videos on this. It's a very lucrative idea. But go watch those because I actually did one like a month or so ago, but I've talked about it a lot. I may try to link to those in the description. But long story short, what you do, you open them, you churn them. When you, a lot of these credit cards, you got to have a fairly decent credit card rating. But what you do, basically you open one, they give you cash back, say like 200 back for spending 1,000 in the first 3 months. You just do that, put regular expenses on it. But I'll give you like the cliff notes of it, but you got to go watch those videos because my favorite one, the best one I did, it's called How to Achieve an 800 plus credit score while never paying a cent in interest and making money while doing so. Check that one out. So yeah, I've talked about a lot of those. So yeah, go check those out. And hopefully for all the new fans on here, you remember to subscribe to the channel because I try to do these videos daily if I can. Oh, look at their train is touring again. They've been around a while. Okay, so there's that. RA has been good for me too. That's good. I think it would be 20 to 30%, which is good. Is that for Apple or what? Larry Summers says I've been buying Boyle. Oh, someone else asked for that too. Boyle, 313 to 336, 9,000 shares for China reopen and EU buying at spot price. Ooh, we're getting to spot prices now. Are we into like forex trading or international spot price with continued sanction on Russia and China not yet participating? Well, I mean that sounds like a decent trade idea. Bought my Apple Studio Pro with Costco bucks. Yeah, you were saying you rack up those Costco bucks because you put everything on your Costco cards, or so to speak. But you're a big spender anyway, so it's very lucrative for you. Well, that's good. Oh, Sam Talks Finance showed up. You always seem to show up on weekends. You must be really busy during the week, but glad to have you. So I'm addicted to SVOL. I'll be holding that for years just for the income alone. I'm excited to hear APLY news after Thursday. I bought regardless. Love seeing this TSLY videos, man. Yeah, thank you. Glad you like them. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on this. I'm gonna stay hung up on these yield max funds for a while. They're doing well, and I like talking about them, so it's a win-win. And you all like them too, so it's like a triple win-win-win. So yeah, I'm after what happened in TSLY, I'm not gonna buy anything until earnings. Eat more beans says SVOL used the front months 1 and 2, now using months 3 and 6. Not sure what you mean by that. You want to clarify? What do you have a picture of like a taco or something or guacamole or something? That looks cool with beans on it. Neil says, yeah, it's a winner. Hoffman Unfiltered gave us a thumbs up. Okay, so yeah, I guess that means on my credit card. So watch those and subscribe if you haven't. I need to be able to do like a poll on here. So is everyone buying dividend stocks or ETFs? Anyone buying growth? Well, I would assume everyone that watches me is a dividend fan at this point because that's like my core audience. Yep, everything. I wish you could put your mortgage. I know, don't we all? Mortgage or rent or property taxes too. I would love that. Could you imagine like if you have a $1,500 or $2,000 mortgage? You know what's funny? I haven't done a real estate video in a while either. Like I said, I used to do all kinds of like every area of finance basically, including real estate. Now I've done good real estate videos and I think my knowledge on real estate will impress you all. But the thing about that, and I actually did one that I put a lot of time into, questioning Dave Ramsey's strategy about paying off your mortgage before you pay everything else off. That was like a year ago, but these videos just don't get those views like these do. So but I put a lot of time into that one. So check that one out because I really analyzed, would you be better off paying off your mortgage or using that money to invest? Because Dave Ramsey says that once you're debt free, it's like the debt like leaves your body. He says you basically have this like spiritual experience when you become debt free. So I'm close, but I'll let you know if he's right. I will tell you, it does feel better when you're, if you can get closer to being debt free, and if you get good savings, good investments, it definitely it makes life a lot easier. I'll say. Okay, but yeah, mortgages. A mortgage is one of everyone's biggest expenses, or if you think about it, living expenses are like our biggest expense as people, right? Whether we have a mortgage or whether we rent. I guess you could Airbnb your house, and shoot, I leaned my elbow there. I guess you could like Airbnb rooms in your house or something and defray the costs. But what was I going to say? I wanted to go off on a rant about this now. So uh, here's my concern. Like if I were to sell where I live now, I probably doubled in value. But it's like, where would I go? Because I think there's that debt to income ratio, and mortgage rates are so insane right now. Like that with that debt to income ratio, I don't think right now what houses are right now. I don't think I could afford to pre-qualify for a place with my income now. Whereas, like when I bought the place I'm at, I did pre-qualify because I think it's like or pre-qualify because I think it's like that 1/3. Like your income has to be you can't have your debt to income ratio. Your debt can't be. Or I think your income you can't do more than like 3 times your income on a mortgage. I think, which is funny because people ask me, "Oh, are you gonna like sell before the market crashes?" Where would I go? I'd have to get roommates or move in with someone or something. And I have a lot of stuff, so it's like I don't know where I would go. Anyway, but yeah, you all can tell, I definitely would like to talk about other areas of finance, but I kind of stick to what gets views. But once I do the topic that gets views, I can kind of, it's like a open discussion. We can talk about anything. So anyway, where are we now? A lot more comments here. Looks like we have a new fan here. By the way, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. I expect to see that subscriber count keep going up and up and up. Door Gunner with 2 zeros in your name. I buy dividend stocks and ETFs. Good for you. So, okay, as long as APLY is more than SVOL, that's good. Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping too, because it's like, we already got SVOL, so we want something else to pay more than SVOL is paying. Door Gunner said you have a few growth stocks. Well, that's good. Thank you there for your contributions to the discussion there. All right, now I know I have other stuff to look up. All right, the channel's at 1528, so we are picking up some subscribers. It's growth is starting to go up a little bit. Oh, I got a comment 2 hours ago from Eat More Beans, which I'll look at later after I finish this, whenever that is. Dang, it's nighttime already. Okay, let me see here. Where are we? Oh, Sam Talks Finance says, I do get pretty busy in the week, LOL, but I'm working on it. Any idea when NVDY is launching? I think we said it might be mid-June, just looking based on something. I think mid-June for some reason. Or that might have been the ex-dividend date for APLY. But I'm thinking for some reason they want to spread them out, because if you look at it, so APLY was the third one, and they launched OARK and TSLY on the same day. So they didn't launch this time. They didn't launch APLY, or they didn't launch NVDY at the same time they launched APLY. So I guess they want to spread it out more. But yeah, anyway, thank you for joining. Oh, and I missed part of your comment there. That's another I'll be buying day one. Yeah, I really like NVIDIA. And Saucon Red Sox agrees with you. VIX Central shows the term structure. I get my growth through SCHD, Main, Gain, and Devo. Are Main and Gain real real tickers? I got to look at that. I assume they are. It's just funny that I get my growth through Gain, and it's not just a laundry detergent. Main. Oops, I got to look this one up. We keep fluctuating around 30 live viewers. We were at 31. Main Street Capital Corp. Ooh, the yield is 3 sixes, 6.66. It's 40.52. After hours 40.90. Anyway, and that number depending on who you talk to. Some people freak out at that number. Some have other opinions. Okay, so SCHD we know about. I don't think SCHD pays a great dividend, but it's total return, right? A lot of you really like SCHD. 3.61% yield, but I think total return, we're down 4% for the year. And actually, we're up slightly since March, 3.26%. Okay. Oh, wait a second. I got one more to look at here before I go on to another one. Okay, Gain, which is not the detergent company. Gladstone Investment Corporation. That one's 6.95%. Looks like I'm following. Am I following? No, I'm not. I'll add that. So my list just gained another ETF. And then Main. Do I want to follow that one? Yeah, I guess I will. Main Street Capital. Who does these? Like what fund family are these in? I wonder. Didn't Devo do Whippet? Oh, that's perfect because Devo was the last one from his list that I didn't look at. Did Devo do Whippet? Well, it did this. If that gives you like whiplash, it did since March 17th, 5.65%, but it's down. It's like flat for the year. If I go back a year, it's kind of choppy. It's like kind of choppy. Best covered call ETF today. I don't know, Hoffman and Filtered. You tell us. Flip a coin. Which one's the best one? Right now, TSLY is the number one that I focus on because I went a lot into it. So I'm kind of looking at it every day. Eat More Beans. Volatility plays, sells future months and backs in closer months at a lower price. Which fund does that? SVOL. And then let's see now. William said, oh, we must have, hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Why be debt free when debt is so cheap? Not right now when rates are down. Well, yeah, like 3 years ago. I get that logic. I mean, I had my mortgage down to like 2.75%. But yeah, when debt's cheaper than investing, I do agree with you. In fact, I probably, dang, you know, if I was where I am now and I could time travel 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have like used the mortgage rates to buy other properties. But the thing is, you saddle yourself with more payments. It's like, if you get a new car, car payment, house payment, another mortgage, or you're going to pay a higher mortgage on a second home or third home anyway. So I'm a little bit. I never know what's going to happen with the job situation. That's part of the reason why I'm active on here, trying to get other things going. So I'm kind of a bit debt averse. I know I'm a risk taker, but I guess I don't mind losing money investing. But I'm kind of a bit debt averse. Let's check the hockey games here. I think the Boston game started because you said score. Funny thing. I think the Lightning have the coolest color commentator on the radio, Dave Mishkin. He goes score. It's my best impersonation, but he's like really, really obnoxious about it. But he's like really gets into it. Oh, Boston's leading in the third period. Ooh, this series is going to go down to the wire. Hopefully, it's not another overtime decision because unfortunately, that was another dubious record that the Lightning got to break yesterday. I think for the first time since like 2003, which has been like 20 years, it was the first time that a series has been decided on an overtime goal. And there were three, don't get me going on that again, but there were three overtime losses in that game, which is nuts, and some bad calls too. But anyway, at the end of the day, they didn't get the job done. So it is what it is. 1911 A1 showed up and said, hi, folks. Welcome to the stream. William said, my goal is to make enough in dividends to get 20% down to buy a house. That's a good idea. I like that strategy. And not touch my principal of my stock portfolio. The problem is my home prices are over 500,000. Crazy. What state do you live in? Because even in Florida here, we're getting really high. Like what 250,000 would have bought you a couple of years ago is at least 400,000, if not more, if not 500. But I know if you live in like California, shoot, you may not even be able to own a house for under $1 million at this point, which is crazy. Oh, Clement Yap showed up. Glad to see you again here yapping away. Been a little while. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us and giving us a space to tap into wealth building. Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to have you on. KJK Good showed up too. Hey, KJK, so how's it coming with Jay from YieldMax? Maybe you can give us an update here. You said you sent him my email. You said he saw one of my videos, so hopefully he was impressed. Hopefully he was impressed, as all of you were. Well, I think he would be because the Seeking Alpha guy, who was an engineer, found my channel somehow, and he showed up here. So you're forecasting 74, 75. Is that percent for TSLY? Is that percent or what? And then Robert Smith says XYLG and QYLG have like 6% and half covered calls. So 50% growth, better than SCHD and monthly dividend. That's my growth. All in that? No, you're in more funds than that. Because I've seen you talk about how much you have in other funds. 6% and half covered calls, half covered call ETFs, I presume. So 50% growth, better than SCHD, monthly dividend. That's my growth. Okay, well, good. Good for you. Ooh, got a lot more here. Let's scroll up here. This is incredible. EXG is one of many Eaton Vance funds. Ooh, I haven't seen Eaton Vance since I worked for financial advisors. That brings back some memories. Eaton Vance funds that has been a reliable dividend payer for me at around 8.5%. I'm also looking at EVV. Well, let's look at that one. Back up to 30. All right. Uh-oh, another Bruins fan on here. I kind of want the Bruins to win because the Panthers are another Florida team, and they shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. So, and with the Bruins record, I kind of prefer them to win. Let's just say, because I don't want to feel like, well, the Lightning lost. Oh, now the Bruins lost. Now all of a sudden the pathway to the Cup was easier, even though the Lightning struggle against the Panthers historically. I think they're in the same division. Them, Toronto, and the Panthers, I think. Anyway, okay, EXG, let's see here. That's Eaton Vance Tax Managed Global Diversified Equity Income Fund, 8.5%. How long have they been around? Since 2007. Been flat. Like a lot of these since the 08, 09 crash, they're flat, but they pay a lot of dividends. There's so many of these funds. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, EVV. EVV. What's this one? This is also Eaton Vance. Limited duration income fund. 10.13%. Been around since '03. Crashed during the financial crash, obviously, but let's see. Oops. The trend line lasts like 10 years or so. Trend line is like this. So got to watch out for that. But it's a good dividend. The Devo comment was a joke. Another record, 32. The Devo comment was a joke. Devo was a punk rock group from the early '80s and did a song called "Whip It." I know the song "Whip It." I almost referenced that. "Whip It Good," right? Yeah, I know. I know my '80s music fairly well. I have older relatives, so I've been indoctrinated into the '80s stuff. I will tell you, I think a lot of the music was actually better back then. I'm finding some new stuff now, but I like a lot of that was like '70s, '80s, '90s. That was like a golden age for music. Best funds you're invested in, Neil? Door Gunner with two zeros says, "Let's go Bruins." Yeah, more Bruins fans. Sam Talks Finance is talking more finance and said, "I'm half tempted to buy OARK and just using the fund dividends to invest into other places." That's a great strategy. Main Street Capital is a BDC, and so is Gain. Oh, I didn't know that, even though I looked at it. But aside from both paying monthly dividends, they pay special. Oh, special dividends. That's always cool. Always like those special dividends, or like at the end of the year, like around like the holidays, you get the uh, capital. They call it it's a capital gain, long-term capital gain distribution. Some mutual funds were doing that too. 1911. You bailed on TSLY. Why? You should have waited for it to recover. Why'd you bail on it? We're all like TSLY fans here. We can't do that. If we're going to be in this club here, we can't do that. Hit 33 for a second there. Dividends often. Oh, we have a James Store sighting. USA Liberty Fund, CEF, cheap, good yield, and strong total return. Oh, okay. Uh, CEF. Does somebody want to explain again what a CEF is? I think that's like another type of ETF. USA Liberty. I think who was it? Broke Expat John. He mentioned this one too. Is that what's the ticker for that one? There is a ticker called CEF for Sprott Physical Gold and Silver Trust. CEF. There's too many funds to follow. Oh, I found a good stock the other day, by the way. It was like a bar side discussion, actually. Speaking of, like I said earlier, having like a financial bar. What was it called? What was it called? This is like not insider info, but this is you know, I don't share this with everybody. This is like my inner circle. All of you all that are on here. This is like the THB inner circle. I should have like a membership and charge for it. I'll get there one day. The capitalist in me will come out. Anyway, okay. What was this one? Was it? I thought I added it here. It might be. Oh, it might be TYLG. TYLG is Global X Information Technology Covered Call. And then I want to say since like November. No, that was something different. Please tell me I followed this one. I thought I added this one to the list. I may not have. I'm going to be really disappointed. Well, I can ask the person for it again. Darn it, I don't think that was it. Well, there's a Rhythm Capital. That's not it. Dang it. Hmm. How did that one not get on the list? Can't believe that one. Anyway, well, I was about to share. I'll find out later, and I'll do it on another video. Anyway, Mike A. Lorca says, "You're never debt-free here in Naples, Florida, with high property taxes and HOA fees." Really? Florida and high property taxes. I would think Naples is in Lee County, or is it the county below? It's near Fort Myers. I know that. That area is actually, I would say that's a lower cost area than Tampa. See, here in Hillsborough County is becoming, how can I say this? We're getting a lot of people from out of state. We're getting like a lot of people from like the Chicago area and stuff, like other areas on our county commission. And there's a saying here in Florida, and some of you that tease me about being from Florida, you'll like this one. But we here, and you might agree with this, people come here from other areas, and it's presumably they come to get away from higher taxes, stuff like that, the way their states are run. But then they get on like the county commissions and stuff, and then they want to make here like there, but they left there for here for some reason. So, but then like here in Hillsborough County, for example, like I live in an HOA too, and it's disappointing because we pay the same property tax that you would pay for, for somebody that's not in an HOA, but we don't get anything because we're a private development. So like our roads are private and stuff. But it's like, well, what do we get for our property tax? Like for the longest time, we had a road out here that was just in deplorable condition, potholes everywhere and stuff. And they finally paved it, but it was just like the bare minimum that they did. But I mean, thank God that they paved it. I'm so glad they did because I was actually having to cut around it because it was in such bad condition just to get home. But anyway, I'm surprised that in Naples, which I consider a low cost area, relatively speaking, you're saying property taxes are high. And I know if you're in like a condo HOA, you're probably paying $400 or $500 a month. So you're never truly debt free because those condo HOAs can really be a ripoff. They can they can be like a mini mortgage, basically. But Naples is a nice area. Best funds for Neil are CRF, RA, EXG, AG, and C. Let's look that one up. One day, because I'm getting all these comments live, I'm gonna have to go back and actually watch. I'm gonna have to go back and actually watch like some of these. And AG and C investment core, 14.53%. Wow, very nice, very nice. I'm adding that one to the list too. And then AG and C, make sure it really did add. EXG, CRF, Cornerstone. I got that one. Cornerstone is paying 18.79%, but keep an eye on that one because I think that one's really free fallen ever since like a year or so ago. And then let's see, what else do we got here? Got a lot of them still backlogged. KJK Good says, whatever TSLY pays, we now have more data to track and correlate with Tesla itself. That's true. TSLY is only 6 months old. Let's use this data. How about an update on how we're coming with getting Jay on here? I want an update. You may have put it down, but I'm still catching up here. Door Gunner with a 0. Bruins fan in Florida. Oh, good for you. Fellow Floridian. Oh, we have an update here. He wants to join. All right. Lots of good things happening for the channel. Checking with compliance. Oh, okay. That makes sense. But someone on here told me that other channels get fund managers on here, so it shouldn't be an issue. But that'll be huge for this channel. I would really, really look forward to that. So thank you, KJK Good. You'll be like fan number 1 if you get him on here. Special prize for you. Maybe we'll do one of those like YouTube fan badges for you or something. It's got to be something free, right? Because we're financial people. We don't really want to spend any money. We want to make money, but not spend any. That's just a little bit of a joke. I mean, I love all of you all that are my fans. There's only 2 types of people in the world. There's people that are subscribed to this channel and people that aren't subscribed to this channel. So it really makes it easy. I know a lot of us say, God, there's so many different types of people, different walks of life, but it really boils down to just 2: subscribers and non-subscribers, right? Or I should say current subscribers and future subscribers, right? So eventually we'll all be one, hopefully. All right. So 74.75 versus 82. That's probably, what? That's another really good educated guess. Someone else came up with a number that they calculated based on the options that it's holding right now and the volatility, and they came up with a pretty good guess. Let's see where we would be if we're at 75 cents versus 82.86. That would be 75 times 12. That would be an even $9. We're at 13.50. So that would still be like 66% or so. Not bad. Not bad. I would take it. But hey, at this point, I got to offset what I'm down like most of us. So, all right, we keep getting the comments in. I'll keep rolling. SVIX and SVXY used front mints. SVOL chased to back months. ZivB used mid months. SVOL act more like ZivB. All right, your comments are almost over my head at this point, so I'll just read them. It's so funny because when I saw a name like your name, I said, oh, this person's not going to, it's just, I guess, preconceived notions. But I said, oh, this person's not going to have very intelligent comments, but you've got probably the most intelligent comments on the live stream. So good for you. I like your name too. I'm in New York. Yeah, you told me that before. Like, so when are you going to get out of there? my first question when I meet someone from New York is like, "Well, when are you leaving?" Most everyone comes down here, and then goes back obviously to visit family and stuff. But so you said I'm in New York, and did you put 20% down when you bought your first home? Did you sell a lot of stock to buy your property? Oh, good question. You're going to keep me on here longer now. So let me get another drink. This question requires a drink, so give me a second. All right, got to build up my stamina to go on these long live streams here. So to answer your question, this is the second house I've had. I got my first place. I was really young, early 20s. So, and I moved quick because I only rented for like right after I moved out of my parents' house. Um, I didn't rent long, and I wanted to. That was my big thing. Like I wanted to own. I've always kind of been debt averse. That's kind of how I was brought up. Um, so I had a townhome, and that one, for being a financial person, I got how much I want to say here. So I got a mortgage from my former employer, and supposedly got an employee discount, but didn't really know anything about closing costs or what a ripoff they could be. And I ended up, because I didn't have any established credit, I got talked into an FHA loan by the loan officer, which had PMI. Now, needless to say, after my first mortgage, when you learn the hard way, you become an expert at this stuff. So I probably at this point I know as much as a realtor. Like I was actually my own realtor when I sold the townhome, still early 20s, um, and then bought this place where I've been since. So, uh, and it was a for sale by owner, or like FISBO for short. So I was my own seller's agent, and then the buyer knew a realtor that kind of worked for them, like just gave them advice and stuff. But we just did a for sale by owner kind of a thing. But on that one, I had an FHA loan, so I only put like the 3.5% down, which really pissed me off because I had money saved up to put 20% down. Of course, houses were way cheaper at this point. This was several years ago now, um, and I should have kept that place too. I would have had that place paid off by now, and could have been a nice rental. But I should have kept it. And the place is worth like double what it was. I made money when I sold it, but it's worth like double now. So I'm not perfect, needless to say. Hindsight's 2020. Funny thing is though, I had a spreadsheet and I had like what I projected the price to be. And by the last year of the spreadsheet, it was like right there. So my instincts were right, but I let myself get talked out of it, which I won't do again. I can promise you all, I won't do that again. I won't let myself get talked out of a smart decision. But there are a lot of risks that come with renting and stuff like that. You want to simplify your life, so to speak. So, but you know what? Still, I feel like I still should have kept it as a rental. Anyway, so your question, being from New York, did you put 20% down when you bought your first house? To answer your question, I put 20% down when I bought my second house. And that also involves another, in retrospect, dumb decision. I know I've got a few of them. So, to answer part two of your question, did you sell a lot of stock to buy your property? Here's what I did, and this will make you laugh. I had Apple stock. One of the first stocks I ever bought. I went in big in Apple because, like they say, go big or go home, right? So, I bought a lot of Apple before that, like big split. It was one of the like first stocks I ever bought. Let me think here. Yeah, yeah. I was really young when I bought it. And I put like, because by this point I had kind of realized like saving money wasn't going to get the job done. Um, that sounds stupid on the surface, but I mean putting money in a savings account was not going to get the job done because at that point you could have like 20 grand in a savings account and you could make a couple bucks in a year, and it's like what am I doing? The market's going up, and I'm not like what am I doing? It's idiotic. So I went into Apple stock, and I was in like that first, like it was like a 6 or 7 for 1 split. Got that, but it split several more times. But needless to say, when I bought this place, I sold out of Apple stock to make my down payment. It had grown to basically enough to make my down payment, and I had other cash and stuff too. But and I basically closed at the same time, so I used the proceeds from the other place. I did not want PMI. I was adamant about that because I felt like my first mortgage, my first deal, I did not want PMI. I was so mad at the PMI and stuff. I actually refinanced, even though I was only at that place a couple of years. I refinanced to another mortgage, and basically what I saved for that extra year offset like the closing costs. But I was so mad at having PMI and stuff like that. But it was all to do with not having established credit. That was the problem. That was my whole hang up that I had to overcome. So by the time I got to this place, that was no problem. But even at the price it was at, like, shoot, I've been here like 5 years now, which is hard to believe. Never been at one place so long. Uh, but what was I saying? So I barely like pre-qualified for this place at my income level. It's a bigger place, of course, in a nicer area, but I barely pre-qualified for it at the time. And like I was joking about earlier, if I was to sell and go somewhere else, I'd have to like revert back. I'd have to either rent or move in like with other people or something, because I don't know how. There'd be no way at my current income, even though I'm higher now, there'd be no way I could like pre-qualify for what the place is worth now, because that whole, like, I think it's a 3 to 1 debt to income ratio or something like that, or like 1 to 3. So anyway, long rant there, but hopefully that answers your question. My preference, I prefer to make the 20% down payment. Honestly, you want to know my opinion, my full opinion. I think that, and this may tick some of you off, so I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but you all know I tell it like it is. I just speak how I think. I think that part of the problem we had back in '08 and '09, you had too many people that didn't have enough skin in the game when they bought houses. They were only putting 2 to 3% down on FHA loan. And here's my problem. If you're going to get $1 million place and you're only going to put like the 3% down on $1 million place, I mean, if you put it in perspective, $1 million, 3.5% of that, that's 35,000. But you mean to tell me you only have to put $35,000 down to own $1 million house? It seems ludicrous, or a $500,000 place. You mean to tell me you're only having to put down 17,500? I mean, I think that people are too spoiled now in a lot of ways. Like, and think about what your mortgage payments are going to be. See, the PMI and stuff like that, in my cynical opinion, that was all. It's supposed to be to help people that help the poor. It's marketed as though help the poor, help people with not enough assets, make housing more accessible. How many times do you hear that? You can almost envision somebody with their hand over their heart. I want to make housing more accessible to people. But I will tell you, PMI and all that benefits the banks, because why? Well, it's basic math. Because when you're only putting 3.5% down on a loan, basically that loan, you've got like 97% of the principal left on that loan. So what happens? So whatever interest rate you get, which they add last minute, oh, the rate sheet changed last minute, so you're getting a higher interest rate. I don't even want to look at what the rates are now, but when you've got 97% principal on, your loan, guess what? The bank is making more interest off of a higher amount. So you think banks like PMI? And the funny thing about PMI, private mortgage insurance, it insures the bank against your default. So you get the honor, the distinct honor, as an FHA loan holder, of paying PMI out of your pocket to insure the bank against your own default. So don't get me going too much on that. I could do a whole other live stream on mortgages. The problem is none of you would watch. I have to disguise it as something like this with TSLY. But anyway, I would say, just my own personal belief, do what you want. I mean, it's a different environment now with interest rates and stuff being so high. But I would say if you're from New York and you're going to come down to Florida, you probably have, your money's going to go a lot further here. You'll probably feel rich when you move here if you've been on New York salary, because everything's more expensive up there. I don't know if you're from upstate or near the city or what. I know a lot of people actually from upstate. It's totally different than people from the city typically. I like a lot of upstate New Yorkers. I really do bond really well with them. But anyway, if you're thinking about doing that, I think it depends on how debt averse you are, but I think 20% would be your best bet. And look at that. One question, you got probably 10 minutes of airtime from me there. Now, KJK Good says, let's track the movement of TSLY and Tesla and their dividend yield too. The data set is growing. I am tracking it. I do have that one fan that doesn't like my spreadsheets, but the rest of you do. So I kind of have to weigh the preponderance of the scale, so to speak, right? Hoffman Unfiltered says, agreed. Glad you agree. Unless you reinvest the dividends, you're losing money. Oh, yeah, we're back to dividends now. I just ranted about real estate. I bought Clip last week, and going into APLY this week, I think Apple stock will rise. Patience is the hardest thing. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is. Patience definitely is the hardest thing. So you bought Clip. A lot of you are fans of this Clip fund. I looked at it. It's Chinese, I think, but it's okay, I guess. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Why am I losing live viewers? It's not that late. Okay, so you bought Clip. You're going to go into APLY this week. Apple stock, you think will rise based on earnings. Okay. Yeah, patience definitely is hard. CEF means closed ended fund. I'm still a big fan of TLTW. Hopefully, you all liked my little mortgage discussion I had there with Mr. William. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Yeah, TLTW. I'll do that one eventually. SCHD is taxed better. That's why it's a better fund to invest. Yeah, I know you all love SCHD too. Sam Talks Finance. So we're betting APLY will pay better dividends than SVOL. I would hope so. I would definitely hope so. I think Jay wants to jump on with us, so he said, but he's asking compliance. You mean like right now? I mean, hey, I'll do what he wants. He's a fund manager, but I've been going a while here. I guess I can go. Got my energy drink here, so guess I can keep going. Paul Varden is going to say around 18 to 20. What, cents or what? Robert Smith says, wonder what the Fed's going to do this week. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. Hope they pause 25 basis point interest rate hike, or it's going to be a rough week again. I agree, but the problem is inflation's not coming down. Really, if you look at it, if anything, it just keeps going up. I think any good ETF you buy now is going to appreciate a ton. You think so? I hope you're right. Oh, Door Gunner. We got a comparison of what counties we live in. So you're up in Citrus County. So you're up in North Florida. Yeah, that's not too bad up there. It's funny because I feel like North Florida and South Florida are completely different. I'm more towards South Florida. But yeah, like South Florida gets more of the high dollar folks from up north. North Florida is still more of like, I feel like the original South, so to speak. So you get a little bit of both, but really the two parts of Florida, there's kind of like a big difference. Terrace layers from Orange County. Yeah, Orange County, I think, has gotten bigger than Hillsborough County at this point. That's where all the theme parks are, right? You've got Orlando, you've got Disney, Universal, you've got like all the stuff, all the touristy stuff out there. So yeah, Orange County, that's a big one. Fed will raise 25 basis points and leave it open for more, but it's all baked in already. I don't know. It just, what they're doing is not impacting inflation at all. Of course, you're thinking of moving to Florida because it's just like my fans. There's, like I said, two types of people. There's people that either live in Florida or people that want to live in Florida. That's what it seems like anyway. I know some of you still make Florida jokes, but you know what I've noticed over the years? The Florida jokes have dropped a lot. Now the other states are getting the jokes. So you're in Washington State. Yeah, that's unfortunate for you. That is one of the uh, worst ones, especially, well, Seattle's your big city there. I was actually I went through there. I was in the Seattle airport on a layover coming back down south to California, and the airport was nice. But I know those big cities like Seattle and Portland have a lot of problems. I don't know what it is. Those big states, they just get bigger and they just have more problems. But yeah, I think Florida's great. We get really hot and humid in the summer, but low cost of living, relatively speaking. I just can't really see myself wanting to live anywhere else. I like traveling other places. I like traveling a lot, but a lot of places on my list, including New York, great places to visit, not so great to live. So, okay, where are we? So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I like Florida. Eat more beans. CME shows future expectations of Fed rate. James Stewart says ticker is USA and it's a closed-end fund. I tried to type in USA, but I didn't find it. Dang, you all are keeping me on here a long time. You all are kind of a bad influence. Oh, I see it. 10% yield. Yeah, this is the one I think that broke expat John. He pointed that one out. The USA fund. Oh, Motown Investor has to leave. Good night. Well, thanks for having. I'm glad we had you on, Motown Investor. Hope you'll show up to all of them. Always welcome new fans, of course. So yeah, okay. Wow, wow, the comments are incredible today. Uh, I'm like 20 minutes behind on the comments because I was ranting about that whole mortgage thing, but I'll get to them all. So Robert Smith is under Proposition 13, so only pay 2,500 a year for $1 million house. You have to explain how that works. You can also take the tax with you to a more expensive house anywhere in California. Yeah, but I think California, if you sell and you don't buy another place, isn't there some rule like they make you pay like the capital gains immediately unless you convert it to another another house? I think anywhere you go, there's like a 2-year rule, but that's at the federal level. California probably has all that at the state level too, so it's like you double pay. But Proposition 13, another thing I've heard of but don't quite know what it is. So maybe you can articulate that to us there, Mr. Rob Smith. So 2,500 a year for $1 million house, is that in your property taxes? Because that seems pretty good. Actually, that would kind of offset what you would pay in state income tax. Tara Slayer is here slaying away the comments, hopefully. I also think TSLY will pay around 74 cents. Wrote that on StockWits. Well, good. You're on StockWits and you're here with me, so glad to have you. Sam Talks Finance. I live in New York too, but not in the city. Central New York. Central New York. I wonder what part. I actually know the state pretty well. Oh, Neil is New York too. So hopefully you all, agree with what I said so far. Yeah, I like I said, upstate New York. Oh, you're in the city. Oh, that's cool. The city's nice, but it's changed a lot over the years. Um, but yeah, I wonder. So you're in Central New York. I can't think. I can think of. I know Buffalo's on the east side, and I know you've got Albany, and a lot of other places on the. I'm sorry, Buffalo's on the west side, like Rochester and all that, and then you've got Albany and a lot of other towns and cities and stuff on the east side. I'm trying to think what's in the center. Oh, Syracuse is more towards the center, right? Um, yeah, a lot of small towns and stuff. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Glad we have a lot of upstate New Yorkers on here. We're getting a audience from everywhere. It seems like that's good. And then you said there is a YouTube video how to use VIX trading tools should help understand volatility harvest ETF. Hey, link it on here. Maybe I'll have the person on. I'm always open to collab sessions. Let's see now. I had PMI previously. I knew. See, most of you will agree because I do believe my opinion comes from experience. So I think a lot of you, when you experience the same thing, you're going to agree with me. Yeah, PMI sucks. It's a thing for the banks, honestly. Honestly, I'm convinced the banks help write the legislation. The banks have lobbyists and stuff, so they're not going to do something that doesn't benefit them. But a lot of people don't see through that. Anyway, is anybody here an OARK holder? Has your money just depreciated over time or what? Actually, I looked into getting into OARK, but you look at it, it has dropped a lot. It's dropped from like 20 or 21 down to like 1470 or something. Tara Slayer says, I'm just looking for high dividend funds to use for paying my bills. Yeah, aren't we all? Inflation is coming down, just not as fast as the Fed would like it. I don't know, because I see the data and then I go to the store and I see like one of my favorite restaurants near here. It's like a Southern style buffet restaurant with really good like home cooking and stuff. And the price is like double what it used to be. I used to get in like for lunch. I could pay like for they had like a special, like a one plate special. You'd get the drink free with lunch. It was like $8 or $9. Well, now it's like $15. It's like it's double. And everything's it's like we're getting back to normal from the pandemic, but everything's like double the cost. And I don't know, a lot of people just don't seem to care. They just, oh, credit card, whatever. But it's still, I don't know, it still bothers me. Anyway, all right. What do we have here? I don't think inflation is really the problem. Companies like Procter and Gamble, for example, had lower supply costs, but they increased prices instead of passing on the savings to consumers. I agree with you. Actually, I've seen that too, and that's unfortunate. It's like companies somehow they've just gotten the green light to, just raise their profit margins. It's a shame because I do see that happening a lot. I've seen stuff like Arizona iced tea that they've never gone up. Like there's some stuff that's never gone up, but I don't know what can we do? Can we force them to not? It's kind of really a bummer. Neil says that's what I feel about Florida. Great place to visit. Really, you have to tell us why that is. I want to hear your opinion on that because just from a cost standpoint, I mean the weather in the summer is brutal. Don't get me wrong, but warm weather, beach weather, a lot of people like that. Eat more beans. 85% of a 25 basis point rate hike on Wednesday, 20% for another. Oh, that's the odds for another 25% in June. Interesting. Tara Slayer is slaying away at the comments. Been living in Florida since 1996. Was born in New York. I don't see myself living anywhere else anymore. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. I'm eager for Neil to tell me why he thinks what he does, because just interesting. Robert Smith says 2-year rule, reinvest it. Yep, property tax. That's pretty good. So Proposition 13, 2,500 for $1 million house. That's tremendous. You're paying less than what I pay, and my house is worth a lot less than $1 million. Passed in the 70s to keep property tax capped at 1% a year for seniors and lower income. Was that like when Reagan was governor, or you had California wasn't? I don't know. I don't know who was. I don't know. I'm just assuming the 70s was a long time ago. But well, that's good. I didn't know Proposition 13 was that old, but that's a good thing then for the taxpayers of California, I guess. Sam Talks Finance says, ouch, hurts to hear about OARK depreciation. Is it as bad as QYLD? It might be worse. I'm kind of staying away because it's based on, Kathy Wood's fund is nutty. I mean, she's kind of a nutcase, let's be honest. Let's see. All right, so it's down 26.7%, 26.17%. Over the same amount of time, you're going to find that QYLD is probably up. But let me see. If you look at the whole history, yeah, QYLD is up like 9% over the same time. But if you look at the whole history of QYLD, it's down like 31% over the life of the fund. So that's that. Tara Slayer still slaying away the comment section here. To be fair, TSLY fell much more than OARK. Yeah, you're right. Might have been about the same, but the dividend, if you factor the dividend in, those who got in TSLY anytime after February has more losses than those who got into OARK at the same time. Well, yeah. Well, and they debuted around the same time too. Here we go. We have our verdict from Neil here. He says, well, the weather is ridiculous for several months. Older population, mostly flatlands, crocs, insects, not too high on culture and the arts, and DeSantos, LOL. Well, the thing is, see, some people like I'm I'm accustomed to a warmer climate, I guess. Well, I'm from here, so when I go to like my cousins, like in Northern California, and it snows, it's really cold, and I'd have a hard time dealing with the snow. I like seeing snow, but again, I wouldn't want to live in it. Um, Older population, I mean, that's not terrible. Older people don't get into a lot of trouble and stuff. Flatlands, there's some benefit to flatlands actually. There's less like you know the terrain I guess is a little bit easier, but we are kind of like some people call Florida the giant sandbar, and we do have a lot of sinkholes, and we got limestone in our water and stuff, and I hear the water in New York's actually pretty good too. But I wonder, Neil, so if you're in New York City, it's got to be pretty expensive up there. But interesting. Tara Slayer, I got in TSLY when it was 1640 or so, had around 2,000 shares, so yeah, I'm down quite a bit. Well, you got in higher than I did. So let's see, 1640. Let's do that math since you laid that out for us. 1640 times 2,000 shares, 32,800. Oh, so you're down 2,000 shares. What is it now? It may open 1350 tomorrow. So yeah, you're down. You've lost several thousand. I'm down. Well, I think I put like 10 into it, so I'm down like 1,500 or so. But I got in at like 1470 something, but then it dropped, and it was really dropping last week. Sam Talks Finance. Then I might just use QYLD for the dividends into other holdings instead of OARK. That's what I do. I don't have much QYLD to begin with, but I don't reinvest it in the QYLD. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I may either keep it or not. But for now, I don't know. There's not that much in it. I don't like need the money right now, so I'll just leave it alone. TerraSlayer, slaying away. I use this dividend calculator to compare stocks. What is it? What dividend calculator? Oh, hurricanes. Yeah, who could forget to mention hurricanes? Although, a hurricane did hit New York one time. It was like a rare winter storm. Don't get me wrong, I really did want to relocate there. Well, you still can. Florida's still open. We haven't sealed off the border yet. That's just a joke. But yeah, no, hurricanes. Hurricanes are they're kind of tough. I'm kind of inland from the coast. I'm like on a lake and stuff. But yeah, hurricanes are something we have to deal with. But like I think someone told me in '04, we had like 4 hurricanes cross the state, and that was the first time in a long time that we had like net migration out of the state. So for us, sometimes we think, oh, maybe if we have more hurricanes, it'll like push people out because we are getting everybody coming here. But hurricanes aren't really that bad. The media makes them worse than they are. Now, the one that hit Fort Myers in September, that had a lot of storm surge and stuff, and a lot of Teslas were blowing up and stuff like that. So that's kind of my concern with Teslas. Robert Smith has to leave, going to see The Evil Dead. Let us know how that is. Is that what movie is that? I haven't seen a movie since I saw Avatar and I saw John Wick 4. Haven't been going to a lot of movies lately though. Star Wars and stuff's kind of like I don't know. A lot of the favorite franchises are kind of like with the new writers. They're not keeping us as in it's not they're not as good as they used to be. It seems like. But anyway, what's this movie Evil Dead? I hear the one with Russell Crowe is really good. Evil Dead Rise. Let's see. 2 estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of horror movie. I don't know if I might stay away from that one. What's the one that's out right now with Russell Crowe? Hold on here. Let me just look him up on the IMDb. And let's see. Where are we? Where are we here? The Pope's Exorcist. That one might be a good one to watch. I'm surprised you're not watching that one. Let me look at the ratings on that one real quick. The Pope's. Oh, only 6.2. But I heard it was really good. But I don't know. Some of those movies are kind of intense. Anyway, shorted TSLA during the earnings day Thursday, so regained about 3,000. So that was good. Well, good for you. Good for you. Oh, some trivia. Just what I want to add to the live stream, some trivia. And I actually know the answer to that one. That was Michael Douglas in Wall Street, right? And his character was Gordon Gekko, right? And funny thing, I've never watched the entirety of that movie. That's one on the bucket list for sure, but great movie. Oliver Stone did that one. Yeah. Greed is good, right? Yeah, very good, right? Big Lance showed up. Do you think TSLY has bottomed out around 13? How much lower can it go? We'll find out. I think that I don't know. I think we've bottomed out, and I think we're going to actually come back now. We actually have started to come back a bit. So yeah, great movie. I didn't see the sequel, but I know a sequel was made. I got to watch that one. My favorite Wall Street movies. I like Margin Call. I like The Big Short, to name a few. And then the Bernie Madoff movie that that HBO made. That's where what's his name? De Niro. De Niro plays Bernie Madoff, and Michelle Pfeiffer plays his wife. That was very well done. Yeah, I like movies like that. Sequel, yeah, it was kind of so, wasn't it? Big Lance depends on how long TSLA goes. It could be down to 146 if it breaks that point, goes to 100s. Oh, if it breaks like resistance or support, I get them kind of mixed up. Resistance is up here and support's down here, right? I don't fully participate in that technical analysis. I should, but I'm much more of a fundamental kind of a guy. Bernie movie was excellent. Oh yeah, Bernie made it. Yeah, that's a great movie. I even showed a few other people that movie. But those are the three. The Wolf of Wall Street. How could I forget that one? Yeah, that one. That's a great movie. Really great movie, and it shows you how classic Wall Street operated. Right. Yeah, it's like the middleman. How could I forget Wolf of Wall Street? One of the best. One of the best ones. You know the funny thing, that guy, he's making the rounds again on here. I don't know if he's out of prison or what, but he's making the rounds on here. He actually interviewed with one of the big YouTubers who I won't plug because he's got enough of a following already. But yeah, what's that guy's name? What's that guy's name? Jordan Belfort, right? Yeah. Uh, he was something else, but yeah, I've seen him making the rounds. He's been on several different shows and podcasts and whatnot. So yeah, Martin Scorsese directed that one. He's one of the best directors that we have. So yeah, I'll watch anything he does. But yeah, that's a great movie. And you're in New York City. You're in the heart of Wall Street. Tara Slayer says, "Yeah, I just watched the videos about it. I'm a total noob on all that." What's that? Technical analysis? Yeah, I'd have to agree. All right. Well, I've been going almost 2 hours here. The viewer count's starting to drop. Thank you all that hung around here the whole time. Oh, Big Lance, what do you have here? If these first few funds don't do well, it will be hard to back the new ones, don't you think? Or will they all be a wait and see? Yeah, I think you're right. We've kind of been burned a little bit on the TSLY, but we're gonna have to see how it goes. I just feel anxious. Feel anxious about the future, the way how's this market gonna go? For the last like 4 or 5 years before 2022, I mean, things were really rolling. Even before then, we had like the longest bull market that we've had. But man, my 401k, when I really started to max it out, really started to get it going, um, those were some great years, I have to say. 17, 18, not 18, 18 was down, but 19, 20, 21, 3 years in a row, the 401k did like 35% a year. That was like 100% in 3 years. I miss those days because I was down like 30%. But I don't know. I can't figure out what this market's going to do. We'll see. And I guess we're not going into a recession. I don't know because the definition of recession changes. It seems like, but it's tough to say. Like it's tough to say. Like for YouTubers, like the CPM dropped and stuff like that, like the ad revenue stuff like that. I haven't heard any updates on how that's doing, but I know mine for the finance space like half what it used to be. But I'm not really in it for the money right now. I'm building up to hopefully in 5 years maybe be a big channel. I think I can. I think knowledge wise, I'm more knowledgeable than a lot of the bigger channels out there, which is why it's starting to reflect. And all of you following me, you all are starting to pick that up. It took about a year and a half. Yeah, Thursday could be a very pivotal day for the markets. Keep fingers crossed. Yeah, I agree. That's when they announce the rate, right? And Friday, Cinco. Oops, shoot. Friday is going to be a big one. Cinco de Mayo. We may be drinking for other non-celebratory reasons on that day because that's when the unemployment number comes out, right? It's always the first Friday of the month. First Friday of the month. I'll be in Vegas for actually an investor group I'm in. I'll be in Vegas for a conference. So I may be drinking away for more reasons than one. Maybe if I'm lucky, maybe I'll do a live stream from Vegas and maybe we can get the podcast that I do off and on. Maybe we can get the other guy on here. We'll see. I may try to do something from Vegas. But anyway, by the way, Neil, you'd be surprised. The weather's cool out here right now in Tampa. We had like a little mini cold front come through yesterday. And it's like it's 71 and it feels really cool. I actually have my window open. You'd be surprised. Tara Slayer says, I'm sure APLY will do much better. Apple stock is more stable. I agree. I think a lot of people agree on that. I do think we're going down eventually when recession hits, and I'm a bull. I hope we don't have a recession. I really hope we can avoid it. Recessions, I don't like recessions. And, these younger generations have been hit by a lot of stuff. I mean, you had the Great Recession in '08 and '09. Then you had COVID. You had another little mini recession. Then inflation. I mean, I don't know. I don't want all this. I want things to be good. I know that's kind of a trite comment, but oh well. So yeah, you said that. The volatility on Tesla is a killer. I mean, if we just ignore the movement, we could get our money back. I use roughly 60% of the monthly dividends for bills and reinvest 40%. Well, that's good for you. Sounds like you're a true dividend investor. Oh, well, no, we have other economic news coming out. So, yeah, Apple could be interesting, but Friday is the unemployment number. We'll see how that is. The job market does still remain strong. But yeah, so Apple earnings could be interesting, could be a heartbreaker or a dream maker, to quote another 80s song. How do you like that? Apple can make or break the market. Yeah, it has a lot of influence on the market for sure. Big Land says, Terra, the dividends increase. I thought when the underlying stock is up and down. Well, that's what happens with TSLY. But anyway, all right, you all. I love all the comments. I love to keep going here, but I'm gonna have to. Oh, we got another. Yeah, Pat Benatar, of course. Yeah, yeah. I try to. I like to believe I know my '80s stuff, for a younger person. But yeah, so all right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in here. I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, that could be Apple. That could be Apple for sure on Thursday. Hopefully, it's the latter, not the former. So anyway, all right, I could go forever with you all. Love the participation here. Thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, I appreciate you, Neil. I really do. I appreciate all of you all here. It's my knowledge is starting to get appreciated finally, and we were up to 33 live viewers, so we hit a record tonight. So I'm very appreciative of that. Oh, keep in mind too, that super chat feature does work. But I'm gonna call it quits there for now. Went way longer than I thought I would. Had a fun evening here with all of you all, though. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night. Yeah, thank you there, Terra Slayer, Sam Talks Finance. Thank you all for staying the whole time. Really appreciate you all. And like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again. Take care. See you on the flip side. All right. Good stream.